Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS, FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. You've probably heard the whispers swirling around the NFL landscape, and they're not just rumors. They're shaping up to be a seismic move that could redefine the Falcons' defensive front and ultimately our entire season. I'm talking about the potential trade of Max Crosby, one of the most disruptive pass rushers in the league, from the Las Vegas Raiders to our beloved Atlanta Falcons. This isn't just wishful thinking. The buzz is growing louder, and insiders suggest that the Raiders are open to parting ways with Crosby, especially as they're in a bit of a rebuild mode after some injury setbacks and cap struggles. This could be a game-changer for us, folks, something that elevates our defense to a whole new level and makes us serious contenders as we push toward the playoffs and beyond. The Raiders, currently sitting at 5-8 with a cap space of around $10 million, are in the midst of restructuring their roster. They're also trying to rebuild their offensive line, which has struggled this season with a PFF grade of 61.7, so they're looking to free up some cap room. Crosby, on the other hand, is a superstar, no doubt about it. In 2025, he's been outstanding, with 10 sacks in just 13 games, plus 25 QB hits and 72 pressures. His PFF grade of 91.5 speaks volumes about his influence on the field, and his run-stop win rate of 30%, combined with an EPA per pressure of 0.19, shows how he's not just a pass rusher, but a versatile force capable of shutting down the run game too. Crosby's career stats are impressive: 98 games played, 62 sacks, and over 210 tackles. He's a constant threat with an average of 0.63 sacks per game over his career, which puts him in the top tier of NFL pass rushers. Injuries have been part of his story, with a rib injury in Week 4 causing him to miss a game, but he's bounced back strong. He even posted 3 sacks in Week 2 against the Chargers. Imagine what he could do in Atlanta, folks. He's a Watt-like relentless force at his peak, comparable in intensity and motor to the best in the league. His trade value is sky-high, and the Falcons could be the perfect fit, especially if we consider how adding Crosby could elevate our entire front seven. More about Max Crosby. A deep dive *. Max Crosby, born on August 22, 1997, in Phoenix, Arizona, made a name for himself as a relentless pass rusher at the University of Pittsburgh before entering the NFL in 2019. Drafted in the 4th round, 106th overall, Crosby's journey to NFL stardom wasn't straightforward, but his work ethic and motor quickly set him apart. His rookie season saw him tally 10.5 sacks, which immediately announced his arrival. Since then, Crosby has been a mainstay on the Raiders' defensive line, consistently providing pressure and disrupting opposing offenses. Standing 6'1" and weighing around 255 pounds, Crosby combines exceptional quickness with brute strength, making him a nightmare for offensive tackles. His ability to bend around the edge, utilize counter moves, and maintain relentless pursuit has earned him recognition as one of the premier edge rushers in the league. His career high in sacks came in 2021 with 9.5, but he's been a double-digit threat in terms of QB hits and pressures every season, which underscores his importance in the Raiders' defensive scheme. His motor and energy are contagious. He's known to wreck plays even when he's not getting sacks, collapsing the pocket and forcing hurried throws. Statistical breakdown and impact. In 2025, Crosby's production has been particularly impressive. He's averaging over 2 sacks per game, and his pressure rate is among the top 5 in the NFL. He's also been instrumental in stopping runs. His run-stop win rate of 30% ranks him among the best in the league for edge rushers, indicating his effectiveness against both the pass and the run. His EPA, expected points added, of 0.19 per pressure illustrates how impactful his pressures are in reducing offensive productivity. Historically, Crosby has been a leader on the Raiders' defense. His 98 games played and 62 sacks put him in an elite category of players with over 60 sacks within their first 5 seasons. His tackles, totaling over 210, demonstrate his relentless pursuit of ball carriers and quarterbacks. Injuries have been a concern. His rib injury in Week 4 caused him to miss a game, but he's bounced back with a vengeance, posting multiple sacks and high-pressure counts in the subsequent weeks. The context: Raiders, rebuilding and cap strategy. The Raiders are in a transitional phase. With a 5-8 record, they are out of playoff contention but are focusing on retooling for the future. Cap space is a critical factor here. They're looking to free up around $23 million by trading Crosby, which would give them flexibility to extend crucial players like Davante Adams, who's been a consistent target and one of the league's top wide receivers. Adams, with 400-plus receiving yards and 12 touchdowns in 2025, remains a central piece for the Raiders' offense. The Raiders' offensive line has struggled this season, with a PFF grade of 61.7, ranking among the bottom third of the league. They're trying to rebuild this unit, but it's been a challenge, leading to the decision to shed some salary and assets to create room for new signings and draft picks. Trading Crosby, a proven star, is a strategic move in this context. It provides cap relief and potentially accelerates their rebuild. However, trading Crosby isn't without risks. The Raiders would lose an elite pass rusher, which could weaken their defense in the short term, especially against high-powered offenses like the Chiefs or Chargers. But they might believe that the draft or free agency can fill that void, and the cap space gain could be used to acquire younger talent or extend their core players. The ripple effect: AFC West and league-wide implications. The AFC West is currently in a state of flux. The Kansas City Chiefs are still reigning champions, led by Patrick Mahomes and a dynamic offense. The Chargers, with Justin Herbert, have shown flashes of brilliance but lack consistency. The Denver Broncos are rebuilding after a disappointing 2025 campaign, with many expecting a turnaround under new coaching staff and a more aggressive draft. If Crosby moves to Atlanta, the AFC West's pass rush strength will diminish, possibly affecting team performance in the long run. The division could become more open, giving the Falcons a better shot at competing for a playoff spot. The Atlanta Falcons. A closer look. Let's shift our focus to the Falcons. Since Arthur Smith took over as head coach in 2021, the team has shown steady improvement, especially on the defensive side. The Falcons' defense has been a bright spot this season, ranking among the top 10 in the league with a PFF grade of 74. And they've amassed 24 sacks, highlighting their pass rush strength. Atlanta's defense has been anchored by standout players like A.J. Terrell, who's emerged as one of the league's premier cornerbacks. Terrell's coverage skills, combined with his physicality and ball skills, have made him a true shutdown corner. He's allowed just a 52% completion rate when targeted, with 3 interceptions in 2025, and has been a key piece in Atlanta's secondary. The Falcons have also seen significant contributions from players like Grady Jarrett in the interior, a veteran defensive tackle with 5 sacks this season, and Bud Dupree, who's added 4 sacks from the linebacker position. But the addition of Crosby could elevate this entire unit, creating a dominant front that can consistently pressure quarterbacks and shut down the run. Future expectations and strategic outlook. Looking ahead, the Falcons are positioned as a team on the rise. With a solid core of young talent, including Desmond Ridder at quarterback, who's shown flashes of franchise potential, and a robust rushing attack led by Bijan Robinson and Tyler Allgeier, the offense is trending upward. Adding Crosby would give them a true game wrecker on the edge, complementing Judon, who has 6 sacks this season. Their combined pass rush could become one of the league's most feared units, making it incredibly difficult for opposing offenses to establish rhythm. In the bigger picture, the Falcons' front office is clearly aiming to become a perennial playoff team. They've invested in their defense through the draft and free agency, and now, a move for Crosby could be the final piece to complete the puzzle. It signals a commitment to contending now and establishing a defense that can carry them deep into the postseason. Deeper analysis: schemes and player fit. From a schematic perspective, Crosby's addition would allow Atlanta to diversify their pass rush tactics. Under Arthur Smith, the Falcons run a 3-4 base defense, emphasizing versatile linebackers and edge rushers who can drop into coverage or rush the passer. Crosby's ability to bend around the edge and his high motor make him an ideal fit for this scheme. Moreover, his presence would free up Judon to play more inside or rush from different angles, creating confusion for offensive lines. The Falcons' coaching staff would likely implement more stunts and twists, leveraging Crosby's explosiveness and power to generate pressure without blitzing extra players. In the secondary, the Falcons have been aggressive in coverage schemes, utilizing their speed and ball skills to create turnovers. Crosby, by collapsing the pocket from the outside, would increase the likelihood of hurried throws, contested catches, and interceptions, adding more takeaways to an already opportunistic defense. Long-term impact and franchise legacy: if the Falcons acquire Crosby, it would be more than just a short-term boost. It would set a precedent that Atlanta is serious about building a championship-caliber defense. Crosby's leadership and work ethic would also influence younger players, inspiring a culture of relentless effort. This move could accelerate the development of other young defenders like Arnold Ebiketie and Miles Murphy, who would benefit from Crosby's mentorship and high-level play. Over time, the Falcons could develop a fearsome front that rivals the best in league history, such as the dominant defenses of the 1980s or the early 2000s. Expectations for the future: playoff and Super Bowl aspirations. Looking forward, the Falcons are positioning themselves as playoff contenders. According to current betting odds, they sit at +3,500 to win the Super Bowl, but with Crosby, that could shift dramatically, possibly to +1,600 or even lower. His addition could turn Atlanta into a dark horse team capable of upsetting higher-seeded favorites. In a playoff setting, pass rushers are often the difference makers. Having a player like Crosby, who can consistently pressure the quarterback, collapse the pocket, and force turnovers, elevates the entire team. The Falcons' offense, with Ritter's growth and a stable rushing attack, could capitalize on the defense's pressure to control the clock and sustain drives. Historical parallels and the significance of such a move throughout NFL history: dominant defenses have often been the catalyst for Super Bowl victories. Think of the 1985 Bears, the 2000 Ravens, or the 2017 Eagles. Each had a disruptive pass rush that set the tone for their entire team. Acquiring Crosby could mirror these legendary units, transforming the Falcons into a defense that strikes fear into opponents. Such a move also echoes the recent trend of teams prioritizing pass rushers in trades and drafts. The Rams' acquisition of Von Miller in 2021, which helped them win Super Bowl LVI, is a prime example. The Steelers, Patriots, and 49ers have all built their recent success on dominant front sevens. For Atlanta, adding Crosby would be a strategic step toward joining these elite franchises. Final thoughts: the big decision and fan excitement asterisk as we approach the trade deadline and offseason. The question remains: will the Raiders pull the trigger? The possibility of Crosby in Atlanta is tantalizing. If it happens, it could be the defining move of the franchise's current era, propelling the Falcons into serious Super Bowl contention over the next few years. Imagine the roar of the Atlanta crowd when Crosby steps onto the field in a Falcons uniform for the first time, an electrifying moment that would send shockwaves through the league. His impact would extend beyond just the stat sheet. It would inspire confidence and set a new standard for what Atlanta football can achieve. In conclusion, asterisk, the potential acquisition of Max Crosby represents more than just a trade. It's a statement of intent. The Falcons are positioning themselves to be a dominant force, with a defense that can carry them through high-stakes games and into championship glory. The future looks bright, and with Crosby leading the charge, the Falcons' quest for Super Bowl success may be closer than ever. Stay tuned, Falcons fans. Big things are on the horizon, and this could be the move that finally cements our place among NFL's elite. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster move? Would you love to see Crosby in the Falcons jersey, terrorizing quarterbacks and boosting our defense to new heights? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. Do you think this trade could be the spark that pushes us over the top? Or do you believe we should focus on developing our current roster? Whatever your thoughts, let's keep the conversation going. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. We've got an exciting road ahead, and with moves like this, the sky's the limit for our team. Let's keep that Falcon pride flying high.